What happens when a spoiled Arab princess visits the Philippines expecting five-star luxury and discovers something her billions couldn't buy? This story from a remote island will leave you speechless. Princess Amira thought poverty was disgusting. But 1 week in Palawan changed her forever. Her family is still searching for answers. Stay until the shocking end. Princess Amira al-Rashid was 24, youngest daughter of Sheikh Abdullah al-Rashid, ruler of a small but oil-rich Gulf state. She lived in a Dubai palace with 300 rooms, owned 40 designer handbags, traveled exclusively by private jet. Her Instagram showed only luxury, yachts, champagne, Chanel shopping sprees. She had never worked, never struggled, never seen real poverty. Until her father forced her on a character-building trip to Southeast Asia. Sheikh Abdullah was tired of his daughter's wasteful lifestyle and constant social media scandals. Her latest, posting a photo throwing away food while complaining it wasn't Instagram-worthy. The backlash was international. Desperate to teach humility, he arranged a mandatory humanitarian tour, 3 countries, 2 weeks, no private jets or luxury hotels allowed. Amira threw tantrums, but her father was firm. The Philippines was her final stop. Amira arrived in Manila dripping designer labels and contempt. She refused to eat street food, called the traffic barbaric, and complained about humidity ruining her hair. Her assigned guide, a local NGO worker, suggested visiting Palawan to see marine conservation projects helping poor fishing communities. Amira rolled her eyes but agreed, assuming there'd be at least a decent resort. She had no idea what waited. The boat ride to the remote island shocked Amira. No luxury yacht, just a simple banca with local fishermen. She sat rigidly in her Gucci dress, refusing to touch anything, taking selfies to show her followers how she suffered. The fishermen smiled politely at her obvious discomfort. When they arrived at the small fishing village, Amira's face showed pure horror. No electricity. No Wi-Fi. Nipa huts. This couldn't be real. Quick favor, hit like, subscribe, and drop a love emoji below. Her transformation will shock you. Now let's see what happened next. Amira demanded to leave immediately, but the next boat wouldn't return for 3 days due to weather. She was trapped in what she called primitive conditions, with her worst nightmare, ordinary poor people. The village chief, Tate Ramon, offered his family's humble home as accommodation. Amira reluctantly accepted, already mentally composing scathing social media posts. She didn't know her phone had no signal here anyway. That first night was agony for Amira. She slept on a simple bannig mat, tormented by unfamiliar sounds, waves, roosters, children playing. The mosquito net felt like a prison. She refused dinner, claiming the food looked unsafe. Tate Ramon's daughter, Liza, brought her fresh coconut water anyway with a genuine smile. Amira was shocked anyone could smile living in such poverty. It didn't make sense to her. Morning brought new horrors, bathing from a tabo and bucket, no mirror larger than her hand, no hairdryer. Amira sat outside the hut, miserable and furious, watching village life happen around her. Children ran barefoot, laughing despite having no toys. Women washed clothes by hand, singing together. Fishermen prepared nets, joking and content. Everyone seemed genuinely happy. Amira felt confused by this impossible contradiction. Liza, 19 and beautiful despite her simple clothes, approached Amira with breakfast, fresh fish, rice, mango. "You must eat, 8. You'll need strength for the day," she said kindly. Amira snapped, "I'm not your sister, and I don't eat peasant food." Liza just smiled, unfazed. "Then I'll leave it here in case you change your mind. The mango is especially sweet today." Her kindness, despite rudeness, planted something uncomfortable in Amira's chest. By noon, hunger defeated pride. Amira secretly ate the breakfast Liza left, shocked to find it delicious, fresh, flavorful, nothing like her palace's fancy cuisine that often tasted artificial. The fish was caught hours ago. The mango was picked that morning. Real food, not the overpriced restaurant meals she'd taken for granted. She hated admitting this but ate every bite, looking around to ensure nobody witnessed her surrender. That afternoon, Liza invited Amira to join the women collecting seaweed for their marine conservation project. Amira initially refused, but boredom and curiosity won. She wore borrowed simple clothes, a cotton shirt and shorts that felt wrong without designer labels. Wading into clear blue water, feeling sand between her toes for the first time, something shifted. The water was pristine, untouched, more beautiful than any resort pool. The women worked cheerfully, explaining how seaweed farming provided sustainable income while protecting coral reefs from destructive fishing. They asked Amira about Dubai, genuinely curious, treating her like an equal despite her earlier rudeness. One elderly woman, Nene Rosa, said, "Wealth is nothing without health and happiness, child. We are rich in both here." Amira wanted to argue but couldn't find words against such peaceful contentment. That evening, the village held a simple feast celebrating a child's birthday. No expensive venue, no catered food, just families sharing what they had, singing together, children dancing. They insisted Amira join. She sat awkwardly as Tati Ramon played guitar, as mothers fed children on their laps, as teenagers joked without checking phones. The joy was real, tangible, infectious. Amira felt something crack inside her carefully constructed walls. A little girl, maybe 5, climbed into Amira's lap uninvited, offering her a piece of bibinka. "Pretty 8, the child said, touching Amira's designer bracelet with wonder. Amira's first instinct was to move the child away, protect her expensive jewelry. But those innocent eyes held no envy, just pure admiration and trust. Amira found herself hugging the child back, tears forming unexpectedly. Day 3, Amira woke early and actually helped Liza prepare breakfast without being asked. Liza's shocked face made Amira laugh, her first genuine laugh in years, not the fake social media laugh. "I'm not completely useless," Amira said defensively. "Just mostly useless," Liza teased back. They both laughed. Something was happening that Amira didn't understand. She wasn't counting hours until departure anymore. Liza shared her story that morning. She'd been studying nursing in Manila on scholarship, dreaming of working abroad like many Filipinos. But her mother got sick, and Liza returned home to care for her, abandoning her dreams. "Don't you resent being stuck here?" Amira asked. Liza smiled peacefully. "I chose love over ambition. My mother recovered. I found purpose helping our community instead. Different dream, same happiness." That philosophy shook Amira. She had never chosen anything. Everything was given, decided, arranged. She had never sacrificed for anyone, never worked toward something meaningful. Her entire existence was consumption, display, hollow achievement. Liza with nothing had chosen her path consciously. Amira with everything had never made a real choice in her entire privileged life. The realization hurt deeply. Amira spent day 4 learning to weave mats from Nene Rosa, her designer nails breaking, her soft hands blistering. She could have stopped, but didn't. Each weave felt like meditation, like therapy. Nene Rosa talked about her husband lost at sea 10 years ago, about raising 7 children alone, about finding peace through faith and community. Grief passes, child. But if you never truly live, that regret stays forever. That night, Amira finally posted on Instagram, not her usual glamour shots, but a photo of the village sunset, children playing, fishermen returning. Her caption was simple, "Real wealth looks nothing like I imagined." Her followers exploded with confusion and criticism. Her socialite friends mocked her poverty tourism. But for the first time, Amira didn't care about likes, comments, or validation. Something had fundamentally shifted inside. Day 5 brought the storm. Heavy rain trapped everyone indoors. The village crowded into Tati Ramon's larger hut, families sharing space, food, stories. Amira sat among them, no longer separate, no longer superior. She held babies while mothers cooked. She listened to elders' wisdom. She sang along to Filipino songs she didn't understand. She belonged to something bigger than herself. It felt incredible. Liza asked Amira about her dreams during the storm. Amira realized with horror she had none. No ambitions beyond shopping, partying, and Instagram followers. What makes you happy? Liza pressed gently. Amira couldn't answer. 24 years old with everything money could buy, and she'd never experienced real happiness. The wealth that defined her suddenly felt like the poverty. Tears came, unstoppable and cleansing. Day 6, the weather cleared. The boat would return tomorrow to take Amira back to Manila, then Dubai, then her gilded cage. She felt physically sick at the thought. That morning, she helped fishermen mend nets, learning their songs, hearing their dreams for their children's education. One fisherman said, "I am richer than kings because I do work I love, surrounded by people I love." Amira believed him. At sunset, Amira and Liza sat on the beach, watching children play in waves. "I don't want to go back," Amira confessed quietly. Liza looked at her seriously. "What's stopping you?" Everything, Amira thought: family expectations, social obligations, her identity as a princess. But also nothing, because none of that had ever made her truly happy. "I don't know how to stay," Amira whispered. That final night, Amira made a choice, her first real choice ever. She messaged her father via satellite phone, "I'm not coming home. Not yet. I need time to find something I've never had, purpose." Sheikh Abdullah was furious, then confused, then quietly proud. His daughter, finally thinking for herself. He agreed to 3 months, no more. Amira cried with relief and terror. 3 months became 6. Amira cut her hair short, wore simple clothes, learned Tagalog. She worked with a marine conservation project, using her business education for actual good, helping villagers market their sustainable products, connecting them with international buyers. She taught children English. She learned to cook, fish, and weave. She became 8 Amira, not Princess Amira. She felt alive. Her social media transformed from luxury flexing to genuine advocacy. She documented the village's conservation efforts, attracted international attention and funding. Her followers, initially mocking, gradually became inspired by her transformation. Some called it publicity stunt. Others recognized real change. Amira stopped caring about opinions. She cared about the children learning to read, the reef recovering, the community thriving with her help. 6 months became a year. Sheikh Abdullah visited, expecting to drag his daughter home. Instead, he found her tanned, simple, genuinely glowing with happiness. She introduced him to Tati Ramon's family, showed him the conservation projects, the school she'd helped build. The sheikh, humbled, confessed, "I sent you to learn humility. You found humanity instead. I'm the one learning now." By year 2, Amira had established a foundation funding marine conservation and education across Philippine islands. She split time between Dubai fundraising and Palawan fieldwork, but her heart stayed in the village. Liza became her closest friend and foundation manager. The little girl who'd climbed into her lap now followed her everywhere, dreaming of becoming a marine biologist. Amira's purpose was crystal clear. Love came unexpectedly. Marco, a Filipino marine biologist working with the conservation project. He'd grown up poor in Manila, earned scholarships, dedicated his life to protecting coral reefs. He treated Amira like anyone else, challenging her ideas, laughing at her mistakes. When he proposed on the same beach where she'd first waded into clear water, Amira said yes without hesitation or seeking family approval. Sheikh Abdullah initially opposed the marriage. Marco was nobody by royal standards, had no wealth or title. But Amira was firm. "I spent 24 years living your choices, father. I've earned my own." She offered to renounce her title if necessary. The sheikh, seeing his daughter's true happiness for the first time, gave his blessing. The wedding was simple, village ceremony, no luxury, just love. 3 years after first arriving, Amira stood on the same beach that once horrified her, now her true home. She wore simple clothes, her skin sun-kissed, her hands calloused from work. Beside her, Marco and their newborn daughter. Around them, the village that taught her what wealth really means. She'd never felt richer. The palace in Dubai felt like a previous life, someone else's story. Liza, now running the Foundation's Manila office, visited often with updates. "Remember when you called our food peasant food?" she teased. Amira laughed, embarrassed but grateful. "I was insufferable. Thank you for seeing past that." Liza smiled. "I saw someone lost who needed finding. We all do sometimes. You just needed the right place to look." Their friendship had saved Amira's life in ways that mattered. Amira's Instagram now showed real life: her daughter's first swim, community projects, Marco's research, village celebrations. Her followers included millions genuinely inspired by her transformation. She used her platform for advocacy, raising millions for conservation. The socialite friends who mocked her poverty phase had faded away. Real friends remained. Influence meant something when used for actual good, not vanity. So what happened when an arrogant sheik's daughter visited the Philippines once? She discovered that the poorest village held the richest lessons. That happiness costs nothing but means everything. That purpose beats privilege every time. She never left because she finally found home. Sometimes getting lost in a place with nothing helps you find everything you never knew you needed. Thank you for watching until the end.